Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Get Good at Business Highlight. Today, I'm joined by Lynda Barrus, and we are so excited to be able to hear from her about her business as it pertains to the I Move method. But before we dive into that, hello, I am your business coach and I Move method specialist. Say that 5 times fast. Taylor Proctor, and I'm here to help you get good at business so you can get back into why you got into business in the first place. And I'm so excited to have Lynda join us today. A little bit about her. She is a mindfulness and spiritual mentor, just living life with enthusiasm. Whether she's in her spiritual education teacher role or managing Optimystical Wellness, which is her business, every moment is fulfilling. Making a positive impact through education, mentoring, and real connections is what she is all about. With a background in special education, being a mom of 3, and overcoming health challenges, she blends mindfulness, holistic approaches, and lunar wisdom to tailor journeys just for you. Her mission is empowerment. She's here to share her inner light and new perspectives for inner peace with you to guide you to discover the magic within yourself. In her work, she meets families where they are, providing intuitive support for creating magical new beginnings. From group workshops to one-on-one sessions for parents and children, she believes in tackling life's challenges and exploring the transformative power of mindfulness and spiritual practices. So let's get together as she walks us through step by step of what a heartfelt mission to inspire and positively impact every life she touches. So Lynda, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so excited you're here.
Thank you so very much. I am thrilled to be here. It's just an amazing opportunity. So thank you, Taylor.
Yeah, absolutely. So that said, let's dive right in. What inspired you to combine your background, special education, with mindfulness and spiritual mentoring when you created your company, Optimystical Wellness?
Yeah, I love this question. And it goes back. I just love the way the universe brings things to us as we're working through this life, right? So I went into special education to kind of help my own children. It was to find a place and be able to support them as we were moving through different areas in our life. And it just comes from being able to totally lost my train of thought. The special education part of it and combining it with my spiritual journey, they went hand in hand. Over the last 30 years I've been practicing both. So having practicing that magic and being a teacher, I have been doing those separately. And as I had worked in different areas in Montessori settings, in public school, non-public school, I could see this unalignment with students that I was working with that are getting these huge diagnoses and that were showing up as highly sensitive, empathic, intuitive children. And so being able to bridge those together, that's how Optimystical Wellness has come about, was bridging that gap. Being able to support those kids that have sensory issues, neurodivergence, however that might unfold for them. They're so highly in tune, so intuitive, so psychic in their abilities, regardless of what medical diagnosis is qualifying them in special education. So being able to support that inside the classroom and outside of the classroom is something that I have stepped into, where in the past I was really nervous about speaking about that magic woo-woo part for fear of being shunned and shut down. But I really am thrilled over these last couple of years to see how much it has flourished and it's getting into the classroom so that we can share just in all areas of our life and not feel like we're closing anybody. We're not shutting them down at all. They're able to step into their own gifts and their magic, regardless of that medical diagnosis.
I love that. And I can relate on kind of a different level though, right? Different scale, which is I was working in business and growing companies and all that stuff. And then I had my mentoring kind of on the side. And it really just hit this point where I was like, these have to come together, right? They cannot keep on being separate to remain in integrity. And then I also can totally relate too with the intuition part, because being woo-woo, because it's like in a business capacity, people kind of want to keep it at that arm's length. And it's like, well, I don't know. And it's like, but when you see it and you embrace it, it really feeds all the rest. And so I know that obviously I'm coming at that from a different perspective, but I love this parallels there. And also I love that you are helping children really tap into their intuition regardless of that diagnosis, because that's going to set them up for long-term success, whether they go into business or they get jobs or whatever it may be. They're artists, which is also a business in its own right, right? Whatever it is, you're helping them tap into that early on and get that training and the practice and the habitual use of intuition in as early as possible, which I think I can speak for almost everybody listening. I wish we had all had adopted that a little bit earlier, right?
Absolutely, it would have made a huge difference. And that was, one of the catalysts was my watching my own kids. I talked earlier the special education. As I was going into special education, I was looking at my own my two older kids, and I could see that within them, and then making the connection back when I was 5. There's so many different connections that are there, and being able to help the parents, I think that's where the awareness too. And so bringing in families and mentoring and consulting with the parents themselves, more times than not the parents are stepping into it, as the kids are teaching them. And so how do we, just I keep going back to like that bridging the gap and sharing new perspectives so that that light can be shown in all ways and shapes and however that unfolds for them.
So amazing. So amazing. So let's talk about how you specifically utilize your intuition to shape the direction and what you offer in Optimystical Wellness.
Yeah. So I think that we're all intuitive. And so anybody who comes to me, their universe is bringing them. I know that we receive and we gravitate and we support with whoever is there to meet us. And so having had this experience and honing in on using my intuition for my business, I see and hear what's going on. I can have a conversation with a family or a student, and using my intuition, if it's reading into whatever psychic ability is also coming in, I'm able to be that I don't know, the like soul whisperer type of thing, where I can
Right.
what it is that they're needing if they're not seeing those dark spots of what they're trying to accomplish, and to be able to get in there intuitively. It's been a little bit expansive this last couple of years, where it could be a message that's dropped in, or feeling different messages throughout my body, or watching those confirmations that come up as we're having conversations. It just unfolds, and being open to receive that, it comes so naturally to me these days that to break it down is even harder to pinpoint it. But I know that a lot of it just kind of pings in with those downloads. And human design, as I've jumped into that, has opened up so many more expansive areas to where those intuitive messages come in.
Nice. So what's your human design?
So I'm a manifesting generator. Yeah, multi-passionate. I multiple things all day, every day. And I'm a 3-6. So a lot of trial and error in my life, with the 3 being trial and the 6 sometimes on those different levels. I learn from my mistakes. So one of the things that I teach my students and my clients is that fail is the first attempt in learning.
I love that.
You have to try it on and see what happens. Just dive in.
So good. And I think in terms of like failing and trying things on and seeing what happens, we have all been there when it comes to marketing our business, right? So what are you doing to market Optimystical Wellness and really connect with that target audience of individuals you work with, their parents more specifically? Like, what unique strategies are you employing to market your company?
Yeah. So I think the biggest in my business, I'm not going to go out and start talking to different teens and then pulling them in, reining them in. So it's with parents, and this is where the lunar living comes in. Um, I've practiced my magical spiritual life for over 30 years or more, since I was 14, and following the wheel of the year and the solstice and equinoxes, those kind of things. So I use that, which is pretty common. People are engaged and love, moms and dads are going to come to events like that. So I have them come in, build that rapport. I use in-person events. I use flyers, postings. I go to events and I coordinate and or collaborate, co-create with other people in the spiritual business that might not be fully aligned to working with families and teens, but co-create with them so that we can use each other's audiences and expand, come and do things like this. Just fun, play, and get to know people.
I love that. So with that flexibility, and then also, let's say the flexibility of intuition coming in and speaking to you as needed with your business as well as with what your clients need, do you have, and if you do, what operational systems do you have in place to help manage and support your varied services?
Oh, goodness. Okay, so operational systems, this is something that I am working on. Optimystical Wellness has been around for a few years, and it's just been really low key, kind of small. I am looking to build into a brick and mortar place. And so as I move these steps, I do have a close knit group of women that are supportive to bounce ideas back and forth with, share downloads. I know within my human design, not everything that comes in as a manifesting generator, I don't need to act on all of that, or else I would be been there, done that. It drops me pretty quick. So having those conversations and watching for confirmations has been huge for me. It fills my bucket to be able to speak to others. And I think right now that's my biggest thing. I'm working 30 hours at my day job and 20-ish hours with Optimystical Wellness. And 2024, I'm looking to switch that. So definitely need to expand on some of those operating systems. But for the time being, it's connection and it's collaboration, co-creation.
Very cool. And I love your awareness on like, yeah, that's something I'm focusing on. And if I want to do that swap, there's got to be systems in place. I love it. So what strategies are you implementing to really add velocity to your growth and your goals for 2024?
Yeah. Manifesting, spell work, creating the things that I need. This special education coordinator position that I have, I've essentially created this. I've been here for 3 years, and I want that income to come in. I did have an opportunity where I stepped away from my special education role and dove into Optimystical Wellness, and it took the fun out of it. And so knowing that my side gig as a special education coordinator, I'm going to have that cushion to do the 3D things. And I get to enjoy and have fun within Optimystical Wellness, which that's my passion. That's, and I'm doing both. I'm integrating all of it with my students here as well as in the business. But that business aspect of it is going to being able to keep that fun and play and that enjoyment there.
Yeah.
Taking care of the money, the bills first, all those 3D things that we need to do, and being able to just continue. I keep talking like the co-creation part of it for me is huge, and collaborations with people within the area of spiritual journeys, spiritual awakenings, those kind of things, having all of that together is really important for me to be successful in making that swap to having Optimystical Wellness my business rather than a side gig.
Yeah. And I have to say, I appreciate you saying that, because business ownership takes all shapes and forms, right? And it doesn't mean you have to fully jump in and you figured it out where you're like, actually, I need to have this other thing so that I can focus on the fun and the play and enjoy what I'm doing. And I love that so much, because I think that not enough business owners can see it that way and also look at the options that are available to us, right? I mean, I had my side gig as coaching for 5 years while running corporate, and then decided to do a full swap. And I think that's the other piece where it's like, you can maneuver and adjust this however you need to, right? What is the best for you? And it can grow, and you can do that complete switch over, or the swap in the balance of time, or you can take the time that you need to do what you want, and you've done that. And that's so great. And I just really appreciate you bringing that up, because I think that seeing the varied ways that business owners are business owners in running their business is so crucial to help us all get good at business.
Yeah, it's been a huge eye opener for me because, like I said, 3 years ago, I did attempt to dive right in and have optimistical wellness my main form of income and business, and really just tried to put all my efforts within it, and knowing that my heart is still here for this time. Maybe in a year it's going to be different, but as a there's still things that I get to do, um, as a special education coordinator,
Yeah.
and learn from these experiences with the students here so that I can focus and I can grow and expand with optimistical wellness. Really in alignment with what I need to do to be able to achieve those goals for my business.
So good. Awesome. So you kind of already mentioned this, but I'm gonna assume, but not assume at the same time. You've mentioned that 2024, the goal is to make that swap. Is that your current major focus? And how are you working towards achieving that?
Okay, so that's my big 2024 thing, right?
Uh-huh.
This quarter, I spoke a little bit about quarters, summer equinox or solstice, and I try to, in my business, I break things out quarterly. So for this quarter and for the next quarter, my focus is getting more, focusing on getting our family mindfulness gatherings and mystical teen workshops. Sorry, I said that backwards. It's family mindfulness workshops and mystical teen gatherings. They're held monthly, and just getting word out on that, and growing the audience for that. They're in person, and that's my main focus, so that we can increase the frequency in our local community, and just have those ripples just go out and support everyone that is looking or questioning, or just trying to find something to be able to support them in their everyday lives.
That's fantastic. Well, Lynda, thank you so much for joining us today. You do have a free resource for those who are looking to learn more about their mindfulness, their spiritual growth, tapping into the intuition to help them with the ebbs and flows of life. Do you want to share a little bit more about your free workshop?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of what I do in creating is I've made an acronym for the word magical. It just is kind of who I am. So 1 hour on Thursday, I'm going to be sharing this information and going through each of the steps, just kind of quick, with mindfulness, affirmations, gratitude, integrity, compassion, authenticity, and liberation, in how you can manage your everyday life to find the magic within.
Very cool. And we have the link to that in this live description. We'll also have the link to that in the YouTube repurposement as well. So Lynda, thank you again so much for being so candid and amazing to chat with today. We really appreciate you coming on to the Get Good at Business Highlight. And everyone else, stay tuned. We will have more business highlights from incredible business owners throughout the coming weeks. So in the meantime, stay active in the group. And remember, you can get good at business.
Thank you.